Hi, I'm Gabriel Rossman, a sociologist at UCLA. Tyler and Alex asked me to talk about how pop music radio works, and more broadly, a gatekeeping model of the culture industries. And most of this is drawn from my book, Climbing the Charts. The book is all about looking at how songs spread among radio stations. But before we talk about radio stations, we're going to have a brief methodological digression and ask how do new ideas and practices spread through populations. One of the ways things can spread is by an S-curve, and this is characterized by slow growth, then fast growth, and then slow growth again. And this is indicative of a positive feedback process, such as word of mouth, and this sort of thing that Gladwell's book, The Tipping Point, popularized. A different model of growth is Zeno's paradox, and this is characterized by fast growth followed by slow growth. And this is indicative of something outside of a social system pushing it onto the system. For instance, imagine consumers who all respond to advertising, or states who all respond to federal highway funding. Of course, you can also fit curves that are some kind of compromise between the two. And there's a huge literature on this, and it's really interesting. But for our purposes, it's good enough to know that if something looks like the red curve, it indicates a natural process from inside the system. And if it looks like the blue curve, that suggests something imposed on the system from the outside. Now, let's get back to the issue of radio. And if we think of radio stations as a population, and a new song as a practice spreading through that population, what does it look like? Well, here's a graph showing how the Rihanna song Umbrella spread across top 40 stations. And this was an unusually popular song, but in terms of its shape, it's entirely typical. And what you see is very fast growth as soon as the single dropped. And as you can see, it's an almost perfect fit with the blue line. And this tells us pretty clearly that radio stations didn't learn about Umbrella through a process of imitating each other. Rather, it seems that the radio stations were all influenced by something other than their peer group. So we can then ask, who is this external actor? Well, one answer that a lot of people might give is that it's corporate consolidation, especially Clear Channel. And if you follow telecom policy debates, you might get the idea that corporate consolidation since deregulation in 1996 has completely destroyed creative autonomy, and all decisions are made at the corporate level.